Yeah, I talked to
told-
him
I
and,
told him about that.
yeah, and I called him after
It,
that.
it's gotta be,
Yeah,
he's
well,
had long enough.
worked to the point where I
It's
have to tell
going to
him.
be good
Yeah.
in the next
Yeah.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, 'cause I called him after that, you know, and I get
Somebody
the-
gets killed there, that's gonna be a
yeah,
sad
I get
situation,
this same story, you know.
and it could be me.
Is it the yellow and the purple house, that what you're talking about, Ryan, with the vans out
Yeah.
front?
I thought you said that'd be good.
No, I said, let's hope not.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Well, you're
No,
saying
I
give
think-
him 10 days or something,
But-
that'd be his last chance,
It's
or
just
something.
been,
We
it's
had
been long
one of the
enough,
girls
and,
killed there.
you know, he has been,
Yes.
you know, he's not been ignoring me about it. I mean, he has talked to me, you know, let me know it is one of his priorities, but it's just been too long.
Yeah,
So
it's,
we're gonna
it's
have to do
time.
something.
What's it been, 2 months or 3?
Oh, it's been 3, every bit of 3
Three.
months.
Mhm.
Okay.
But, you know, I think we're past the point of feeling sorry for him, and we're gonna just have to move on it.
If we had to, could we tow him and
Yeah, that's what we'll
And-
do.
make him pay the towing bill if he wanted them, or
I don't know that we'd probably ever get paid.
the guy could take him down to the city lot?
We don't want the responsibility for that, just have
In
somebody
case
tell
we
them.
tear them up,
Yeah.
accuse us of Right. tearing something up, if the city towed them.
Well, take care of it.
Well, let's just have it.
I'm gonna
Have
give
somebody
him a
tell
couple
them.
options
You need to
before
do
we,
Yes,
I've
I agree,
made complaints.
I
you know.
agree.
I think if he can contact the tow company and get maybe a little bit of money out of them, do something like that, as long as they're gone. You know, if all Perry goes, maybe they'll give him a
I'm assuming
little
they're
bit.
junked ones, that they all are.
Well, he wants to get one working and drive and.
So Ryan, David, did he report that things turned out pretty well for Friday
Yeah,
commodities?
Yep, he did, he went and, like I said, he couldn't sit there the whole day, but he sat there and ran several people off that,
I didn't
park
notice
there.
anybody using it when I worked up there to about, well, lunchtime.
I think it helped that he was.
yeah, he
visible.
had to tell some to leave, but everybody was fine with it and
Yeah.
understood.
All right, any other questions?
Looks like they've just been busy.
Good.
Alright.
Thank you much.
Thanks.
Chief, your worship, please.
Hey, can I have that?
Alrighty, from the country club building, we have nothing on it, to my knowledge.
I did have a call on that building, see, I wasn't home, so I
On
didn't
the country club,
Huh?
on the country club.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrong
I
building.
thought we was on this building.
Oh, not just
I
yet.
wasn't, I didn't do.
That's all right. Former lease agreement, we've not heard anything back from
No,
USB.
no.
Applicants needed for the CDBG demo grant. I do have a question. Buildings, such as those, commercial
Oh,
buildings,
commercial?
do they have to do anything different?
Yes. I mean, it pays,
It pays more,
now, if it's residential, the property owner signs and says they understand that it will cost them $500.
right?
If it's, commercial, it's going to cost 20% of
Okay,
the amount of the demolition.
20% of the amount of the demolition, but they get a bid.
But, yeah, they said when you've got contractors coming in here to do the demolition, they're used to doing this, and if they're, bidding several projects, obviously it's a much better rate than if
Okay.
they were just coming in to do one.
Okay,
So far, we have 5 residential, that we have, that they filled out the applications, and they've gotten the warranty deeds, which is the next step. Les Cardwell came in today and picked up some
I talked to him
applications,
today.
so.
Alrighty. There's 5 of those, you said. It's an
Yes.
improvement, we've had 2 more since
5 properties.
5 properties,
Yeah.
okay. And then the cost share agreement with the county commission, we're still checking into something, I will, in the next few days, I don't know anything on it, but I will be still working on it. Moving on to new business. LEP, limited English proficiency information for board.
I think and one of them is this, LEP, Limited English Proficiency, where we have to check our situation here, to be sure that if we had someone come in here that needed water, that if they couldn't speak English, that
That
we
we can
could provide
communicate.
for them. So,
Translator.
yeah, and
Okay.
so, if you'll notice on down where it's got factor 1 through 4, and there's attached from the Census Bureau that, it says for the city of Edina, 100% of our residents speak English very well. And then we have about 3% that actually speak a second language. But the main thing is that currently, we're not accustomed to having people come in that don't speak English as their first language. But, you know, we could have someone come in that did, and if they came, they would need water, sewer, and trash services that we provide. And so, obviously, we have to help them,
Find a
make the
translator.
translation, so, we've provided that what we would do would, first of all, determine their language, and then we would provide an interpreter, someone from Truman University at Crooksville, to be able to provide that. So, we have done that, and I will forward this on to Cheryl Elliott with USDA.
We have a plan in motion.
Yeah,
All right.
so we can.
I have a question about that.
Echo has a question.
Well, is there something electronic you could do, like on the fly? Like if, I mean, there's so many programs right now, you could just say, like, how do you say this in French? And it would say it for you.
Yes, there are,
Google.
yes.
And then they could translate it back to you
Yes, that would be another.
when they talk to you.
Yes.
I mean, if,
Good
I don't know if that
suggestion.
flies for their thing, but I mean, if you guys get into a jam, that would.
Right.
Yes, I think that would apply. Good idea.
All right, we need a second reading. Proposed ordinance number 700 to be put on the local use tax issue on April 3rd, 2018 ballot.
So, yeah, if someone would, make a motion for the mayor
Do
to
this
read
one more
by
time.
title only.
Oh, I'll do
This
that
title
motion.
only.
Yes, that proposed ordinance 700. And
All in favor? Good, here, you just need them. Unanimous. Oh boy, an ordinance imposing a use tax at the rate of 1% for the privilege of storing, using, or consuming within the city of Edina any article of tangible personal property pursuant to the authority granted by the subject to the provision of sections 144.600 through 144.761 RSMO, providing for the use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount as any city sales tax is repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposal of the qualified voters of the city of Edina for their approval at the municipal elections called and to be held in the city on April 3rd, 2018, and proposing the form of the ballots to be employed at said election, and redirecting the city clerk to do all things called for by law in connection with holding of said election.
Okay, so everybody understands how important this is and what it's for, and
This is for our internet sales tax of 1%.
What was this supposed to be for?
The sales tax on the internet purchases.
We talked it last month.
It's the
So
same
this was
thing.
our
Right.
second reading, and
Well, I should have read it twice then and did not.
yeah, and so
We
then
can-
now, if
Now that
everybody,
it's read twice, we get to do it.
everybody understands and agrees, then we need a motion to adopt ordinance number 700.
I will make the motion to adopt the bill and ordinance number 700.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Ryan seconds.
Ryan.
All in favor? Everybody? alderman's comments.
You were talking about the old building, I've had comments lately too about, when we're gonna get it down. So do we know any more yet?
Well, I know that there's been a party in touch with the owners. I know they reached out to us wanting us to take ownership of the building, which our lawyer strongly disagreed with, still does to this day, because it opens us for liability with the building adjoining it. That building comes down, it's got a sinkhole in it. He also informed me that if you go up there and look, which I don't recommend we do, that's trespass, that the wall has opened on the adjoining building, the floor has fell. So that building's not far from falling behind.
Which one's that? The one across the street?
Shaw's building, the old Harvey building.
Harvey building.
So, again, I'm tired of the building, I know everybody in town is, but this is the reason why I continue to say we need to stay our course. If she can find somebody to give that building to, that would be my recommendation if that person wants it. But the city of Edina should not, in my opinion, take charge of it, because if something happens with the adjoining building, the city of Edina will be liable.
So has anyone talked to Mark Hunold concerning it, for him to talk to Asa?
Mark
If
is
we
in the
can-
loop as my
If
understanding.
there's any contract that they can say that we wouldn't be liable,
Mark is in the loop as
Okay.
my understanding.
but do you think he's gonna talk to
I
Asa?
have no idea. There's a meeting,
We could get them
coming
to
up.
draw up something for that.
there's a meeting coming up in the future that I plan to attend, and I will be trying to address more.
Okay.
But for the time being, this was my fear from the beginning.
So, the owner has talked with the gentleman at LaBelle then?
The owner's daughter has been talking
Okay.
to.
I know
Mr.
they ever
Ricker.
got a hold of her even.
They did, they're
She
in
hadn't
contact.
responded, okay.
So, it is a mess, but if we dip our toe in that pool, I don't think you're gonna find bottom. It sounds so easy to clean it up, just go in and clean it up. You know, if the initial cost was a free building, that's fine. But this Herner building over here was a free building and ended up being about $40,000 to $80,000 to get it in the shape that it's in right here. So a free building that isn't a free building.
What is Asa
You
Shaw?
remember that,
What's Asa Shaw want for that old building of his?
30,000 or better,
That's,
He what?
30,000 or better, I
are you
think.
kidding?
The building?
Cause
That tore down part of it?
No,
if they could get,
No.
if,
No, the one next
one
to
next
it.
to it,
If it could
that's
be
what I've heard,
purchased.
but I don't know.
That one too?
if we could, if someone could get that purchased worth the money to, in case it did come down, we could take
And
a hold
that's
of it
just
at once.
speculation, so I don't
Right.
know what
I wouldn't
is
give
it.
300 for it.
Yeah.
Amen,
Yes. I would take it as a gift.
Right, that's,
amen. Because
So
then
we've
you'd be
got-
looking at, I mean, that building, that cost that in 1996. And if you want to know where I got that information, the archives of the paper. So, I don't know what the inflation from 96 to 2017 is, but I can tell you it's probably a lot more.
So in other words, it's gonna be just sit there and nothing's gonna happen, period.
No, we're doing all we can, right at the
I'm
moment.
saying if he can't get permission to get us out of the responsibility of if we would
No.
damage it,
No,
or whoever.
we will be doing something in the near future, but I want to talk to the lawyer and Mr. Bishop, and I wanna try to find another avenue that we can take hold of this situation, but the problem still in lies.
He don't own the old
We
stagecoach
still
building,
will
does
have liability, no. But he owns the Harvey building beside it, the one that the floor is falling out. So,
Well, we need to find out what Ace is actually willing to let it go for. Somebody does.
I don't think the city's in,
And I'm not even necessarily saying the city, somebody
Right.
else, you know.
Right.
And it could be we. But I won't.
City doesn't need to be in the land purchasing business.
But we're gonna do something to clean that mess up.
Yeah, it needs to.
And if that's the only route we've got,
That isn't the only
We've got
route
some
we
That's
got.
not-
solutions that are kind of
well,
in
I
the
hope so
process.
then, okay.
We got solutions that are in the process. The problem is, we've got to just, we've got a lot of agencies in and around Knox County that are trying to maneuver in ways that they shouldn't be at the moment, so let's just leave it at that for the time being. Yes, Echo,
What's going on with the warrant? Have you heard anything about the warrant?
nobody
What?
can find her.
Yep, last I've checked, the county where she last lived, they don't know where she's at.
Shannon County.
They can't find her.
But yet they can find her daughter.
Well, the
Warrant's
daughter's
not for the daughter.
contacted Echo and has
And
made
the
contact with
city and-
different people.
Yeah, she sent some emails to
The
everybody,
warrant's
so
not for the daughter doesn't own the building.
The daughter what?
He doesn't own the
doesn't
building.
own the building. I know that I've personally tried to set her up with some, different people and
I myself have tried to get in touch and talk with them.
and it
No
was a
avail.
very frustrating practice of there were people who were seriously interested in either one willing to take the building as signing it over to them, or two willing to maybe pay a little bit for
But
that
it's not what
building.
she wanted. That was the problem. She wants the city to have that property. The city does not want that property.
Okay, I didn't know that. She wanted the city to have it.
She said she wants the city to have that property. However, us having that property, even if we were to tear down that building and get it cleaned up for, say, $20,000, and we have that in the coffers to probably do that, that also opens us up to two more floodgates that we're not looking at. Number one, Asa Shaw's buildings that are falling down. You tore hers down for her, why won't you tear mine down for me? We're not in the business of tearing buildings down either. Number two, if we should go in and clean that building up and tear it down, and in the process,
Damages.
his building falls,
Fall.
we're liable.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we purchase that building at a high rate, but then we have to clean it up too. And we are not in the cleaning up of buildings businesses.
Anybody talk to John Bodie and the Community Development
They
Corporation?
didn't want to touch it last time, did they?
No, to my knowledge, they don't want anything to do with it. To my knowledge, they don't.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't want to touch it, so I heard.
That thing was off, I'd tell you what I really think.
They've got a building of their own that needs to come down,
They
or
do.
two,
It's
or
supposed to be, supposedly she's gonna start that in the spring. The problem is where do you start and where do you stop?
So if we could get this, just hypothetically, if we could possibly, or anybody get the building of Asa Shaw's, could that be put on that demolition grant? Or it wouldn't be able to wait that long, clean one up but not the other one, unless till the wall starts falling in. Could it go on that demolition
That
grant?
building is leaning against what's left of the other building. It's the only thing, in my opinion, keeping it up.
Really?
Bottom shifted out, one floor's fell, and it's probably not very
I
long
haven't
the
looked
second
at it,
floor
so
is
I
gonna
don't
go.
know.
the floor fell?
That's what Mr. Bricker had said, and he was willing to show me photos, and I said I didn't need to know anymore.
Who's Mr. Bricker?
Exactly.
Well, I think the wall's still falling in where that stairway is that goes
I know
up to
it
that
is.
Yeah.
door. There used to be a beauty shop
Yeah,
and
it's
insurance
getting-
office.
Oh, yeah.
It's really caving in. Somewhere in the room, get up and it's gonna be down more.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. Okay,
Wish we had a solution.
I think we outlawed TNT. Outlawed TNT, the personal, private people. I would've had taken care of already. Alrighty. Any other alderman comments? Alderman comments, moving on. Who would like to make a motion to adjourn?